been very consistent. I'm an extremely stable genius. Okay.
I know these people much better than you do.
I understand things. I comprehend very well. Okay? Better than, I think, almost anybody.
And by the way, who knew the other side of the picture better than me? I knew it.
Nobody knows more about environmental impact statements than me. And I think I know more about the environment than most people.
I know a lot about wind. I know a lot about wind.
Donald Trump has never lacked confidence in his own intelligence. Over the years, he's repeatedly described himself as an extremely stable genius, insisting that he understands issues better than almost anyone else. Whether he's talking about business, foreign policy, environmental regulations, or even wind turbines, Trump often tells audiences that nobody knows more than he does. "I know a lot about wind," he famously declared. To his supporters, those statements reflect confidence. To his critics, they've become some of the most replayed moments of his political career.
One of the many weird things Trump ordered him to do is to send letters warning Trump's high school colleges and the college board not to release his grades or SAT scores. In 2011, Trump challenged President Obama to release his academic records. And then days later, someone called Trump's high school and demanded they find and bury Trump's transcript. So I would bet Trump's grades were so bad he couldn't even get into Trump University. But
Jimmy Kimmel saw those comments as the perfect setup for a punchline. During one monologue, Kimmel referred to reports that Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, testified that Trump wanted his academic records kept private. Kimmel contrasted that with Trump's past calls for others, most notably Barack Obama, to release their academic records. The comedian joked that if Trump's grades ever became public, they might explain why he has always been reluctant to discuss them. The audience erupted with laughter as Kimmel delivered one joke after another, turning Trump's own stable genius comments into the centerpiece of his routine.
He was a terrible student. Terrible. He went to Occidental. I heard he was a terrible student. Not like, okay, I heard he was a bad student. How does a bad student then go to Columbia and then go to Harvard? How does this happen?
Kimmel didn't stop there. He reminded viewers of a moment when Trump questioned how Barack Obama could have attended Columbia University and Harvard, saying, "He was a terrible student. How does this happen?" Kimmel pointed out the irony of Trump publicly questioning someone else's academic record while his own educational records have long been the subject of public curiosity. Whether viewers agreed with Kimmel or not, the contradiction became the heart of the joke, and the audience responded with loud applause. For years, Donald Trump has made intelligence a central part of his public image. Unlike many politicians who focus mainly on experience or policy, Trump frequently argues that his greatest strength is his own judgment. From campaign rallies to television interviews, he has repeatedly told supporters that he sees problems others miss and understands complicated issues better than experts. That confidence has become one of the defining characteristics of his political brand. Supporters admire it because they believe Trump refuses to bow to establishment opinion. They argue that his willingness to challenge conventional wisdom is exactly why millions of Americans continue to support him. Critics, however, interpret those same statements very differently. They argue that Trump's sweeping claims often invite scrutiny, especially when he says that nobody knows more about a wide range of subjects. Those comments have provided endless material for comedians who frequently replay the clips before delivering their own punchlines. Few late-night hosts have targeted those remarks more consistently than Jimmy Kimmel. His monologues often combine news headlines with comedy, highlighting moments where politicians appear to contradict themselves. In this case, Kimmel focused on the contrast between Trump's repeated descriptions of himself as a genius and the long-standing public interest in his academic records. The discussion has surfaced before in political reporting. Michael Cohen testified before Congress that Trump had wanted to prevent disclosure of his grades, an allegation Trump has disputed. Those claims, along with Trump's earlier calls for President Obama to release his academic records, have continued to fuel debate and provide comedians with fresh material. Kimmel built his routine around that contrast. Rather than arguing about grades themselves, he emphasized the irony of demanding transparency from political opponents while resisting similar scrutiny. The joke landed because audiences were already familiar with both stories. This pattern has become common throughout Trump's political career. Statements intended to project confidence are often transformed into comedy by late-night hosts who search for contradictions between rhetoric and public perception. Sometimes those jokes resonate with audiences. Other times, Trump's supporters dismiss them as partisan attacks. Trump has rarely ignored those criticisms. He has repeatedly accused late-night television of political bias, arguing that comedians have abandoned neutrality and are more interested in attacking conservatives than entertaining viewers. His supporters frequently echo that complaint, saying that hosts like Jimmy Kimmel spend